You guys put your hands together for the very funny Ron Ripley.
Give it up for that rape whistle, huh? That's all the rape whistle gets, huh? How you guys doing? My name's Ron Ripley, and my wife is gonna make a terrible, excellent single mother. I don't know, take your pick. Boom! Just right in there on date night, huh? All right, cool. I saw y'all on Ellen's set. Fuck, how many married people are there? Give it up. Round of applause. Round of applause. Fucking miserable people. I was trapped with my wife for about a year and a half during the pandemic. I learned some cool shit about her, not really. For starters, I learned that she's an insomniac. I found this out one night when I came out of the living room, you know, and she was watching this show called Bridgerton. And I know she was watching it because it's the only time I've ever caught my wife doing something where she acted like she got caught doing something illegal. But I was like, hey, honey, what's going on? She says, oh, I got insomnia. I can't sleep, you know, so I'm just out here watching Bridgerton. I said, I know you're watching Bridgerton. That blanket's wet, but what's bothering you? Say, oh, I gotta get up early in the morning. I gotta go to the Zoom meetings all day, and it's so stressful. And then I gotta meet my sister to do some yoga. So I'm like, honey, shh. I don't care. Why don't you just suck my dick? Yeah, she did about the same thing. Until I was like, look, I mean, don't hate me on me, you know. I'm just trying to help you because I'm just trying to suggest something that you are always too tired to do. Anyone here fuck with love languages? You guys hear about these things? It's cool, man. My wife has 2 love languages. They are sleep and being left the fuck alone. My one love language is just blowjobs. Sometimes I'll substitute in Legos, you know? I don't know. I got my wife to watch Lord of the Rings during the pandemic, though, because I slipped her like some Adderall without her knowing it. 3 days later, she got it figured out. Got me back. She made me watch the movie Ghost. Anyone seen this movie, Ghost? You're already groaning, man. I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't know. If you don't know what the movie Ghost is, it stars Patrick Swayze, the poster child for pancreatic cancer, Whoopi Goldberg, a black woman that we've all stopped listening to, and Demi Moore, a woman with a boy haircut who was transgender before it was even cool. Have you seen this movie? So there's a scene in the movie where Patrick Swayze, who has been murdered, is dead. He is a ghost. He is using Whoopi Goldberg. For some reason, they cast her as a fucking medium, so she's gonna speak to Demi Moore on his behalf. She has to convince Demi Moore that she's not being conned. So Sam, the ghost, is in the room, and she says, you know what, this is just so unbelievable. I don't believe this. I just don't believe this. Sam says, tell her I love her. Sam says he loves you. Sam would never say that. So Sam just goes, ditto. Tell her I said ditto. What the fuck, ditto? And she buys it. She's like, oh my God, ditto, that's our word. In the 80s, it's in common usage. It's on every single channel. Ditto? Are you kidding me? If I was in that position, and maybe you will feel this too, but if I was in that position and trying to communicate to my wife as a spirit that I need her to find my killer, and I needed a slam dunk proof of death, I would say, Whoopi, repeat it, everything I'm about to say. Look my wife right in her face and say, remember that time when we were watching Game of Thrones? It was the Red Wedding. You got up to want to go to the kitchen, you went to get a drink, you had to fart. You looked right at me, you lifted your leg, winked at me, thinking you were going to fart, but you shit on the floor. Tell her that, Whoopi. Tell her that. Find my killer, bitch. That would have been a completely different movie if Ron Ripley was dead. All right, you guys like that one? You guys are fucking terrible people. One thing I learned about my wife during the pandemic, which was actually super cool as a husband, being trapped with her for a year and a half, I got to see her do her job. Men, how often do you get to see your spouse doing their job, kicking ass in their career? Have you ever seen it? It's fucking terrifying. That woman has got to be one of the hardest people I've ever seen to work for. Every day I hear him. That's her fake laugh to her boss. No, it's fake. 10 years, I've never heard her make that sound. I hate my wife's Zoom calls more than she does. We went to an event at her work, and I finally got to meet all these people she's just went, at. And they're terrified of her too. They meet me, they say, oh my God, you're Ron, you're her husband? Oh my God, I'm her employee, your wife's my boss. I say, so the fuck am I? What are you drinking? She's my boss too. People say we make a pretty good team. You guys ever hear that phrase?
Makes such a good team.
That's bullshit. The only thing I learned is that if we're a team, my wife is the owner. She caught me looking at a hummingbird baby, what I thought was a hummingbird baby, for about 4.5 minutes. And I was just sitting there staring at that thing going, look at the majesty of nature, honey. I was super baked. And she just let me do it. Until she said, that's a fucking bee, dumbass. You guys, I've been Ron Ripley. You guys ready for more comedy? Are you ready for more comedy? Keep that energy up for this next comedian.